So as part of these presentations each year, we also like to provide status updates. Each year the domain has particular efforts we pursue that help to further promote the standards-based implementations. These efforts open up the opportunity for new profiles in some cases as well. And they also constantly improve the available profiles as more and more vendors or healthcare systems use them. So from a trending perspective, and we're just talking about what we call the 2018 cycle this year, the PCD domain has representation now, starting this year with the IEEE P1847 Working Group, which is dedicated to the location services for healthcare. This IEEE Working Group expects to make use of some of the work done by the PCD domain in its MEMLS profile. Expansion planning is also going on for multiple profiles aside from this, including nurse call, lab results, and workflow management, incorporating those into most particularly the ACM profile. The domain continues to work to include PCD profile items in updates to IEEE 11073 documentation for standard nomenclature across systems. A key focus right now is alarms and alerts. Domain leadership constantly utilizes opportunities to provide comments to federal standards directives for alignment purposes, and we do that every year. The domain is also working for making use of FHIR with existing PCD profiles, and we'll talk about this as we move into the summary of our future plans. So the things that we're either working on or have completed this year, increasing interactions with end user communities. We are pursuing deeper involvement from healthcare organizations in the PCD group, so there's an active outreach going on for that. We'll continue our efforts to include the IEEE terms and observations and events and attributes for the MEMDMC and MEMLS profiles, as well as a general roll-up of events and alarms nomenclature across all of the areas. ACM is looking at support, as we said, for FHIR. This is mainly in support of the optional M, or mobile ACM AR actor that was originated for FHIR transactions within the ITI domain. This permits sharing of installed base of ACM AC actors at the endpoint communications devices with MACM reporters, which is an actor within that domain. As this proceeds, it would be the first FHIR implementation with PCD. So we'll be extending that as we move through this year and fact-finding on it. We'll be extending the MEMDMC profile to include remote command and control of devices in a device-agnostic and generic manner, including speaking to safety and security issues. Initially, a constrained set of use cases are going to be deployed for that this year, and that will expand later on. We drove promotion of MEMDMC into additional commercial CMMS and CEMS products at the AMI 2018 show. That was executed back in June during the AMI trade show. We're also working on promotion of medical equipment management with location services into additional commercial RTLS products, and there's an active outreach for that. The IHE PCD does have 3 vendors now participating in that relatively new profile, with 2 more considering activity for this year. So any standard, all the standards we've been talking about here, would not be a standard without participation and contributions from the vendors that provide products into the market. We're constantly looking to expand participation in the IHE standards from market vendors to drive them to be more useful and to continuously improve and expand the way healthcare communications are handled in a way that works for everybody. For healthcare vendors looking to participate, the actual effort involved is small in scope, but can be extremely beneficial. Below we have a list here of what we ask for our committee members. Becoming an IHE member, obviously, and participating in PCD efforts provides a chance to bring new solutions to the table for review, or plus maybe even participate and vote on profile changes as they occur. As members, we're all evangelists of the IHE standards, driving support for the standards within our individual organizations and also encouraging new vendors to join the effort. Participation in IHE testing events and promotion of integration statements from the results of those tests to mutual customers drives confidence and interoperability across vendors as well. The opportunity to participate in IHE demonstration events at HIMSS or at AMI trade shows, as we discussed, also allows for vendors to show how the standards make a difference in cooperative and realistic healthcare environments and scenarios that our customers or healthcare organizations can easily identify with. At the IHE, we promote participation in the committees from healthcare organizations as well. Many of the activities are the same for a consumer of the IHE profiles, but the input to the profiles can have an even greater effect. Organizations or healthcare organizations themselves participating in the IHE have the ability to see new capabilities or value coming down the road, which can drive more efficient and cost-effective deployment of solutions in the enterprise. As these organizations also have the benefit of input into the design of the profiles, that will ensure a strategic fit for the healthcare institutions now and moving forward into the future. Input from the consumers of the IHE profiles represents some of the most important information to drive how the standards are going to work now and going into the future as well. We're always looking for more organizations to join, so if you think you'd be interested, please reach out to us, and we'd be certainly happy to help there. So the IHE PCD domain maintains a constant list of commercially available systems. These are updated on a fairly regular basis, normally around each one of our sessions, and with testing that comes out each year. So around 3 times a year, you'll see an update to this list as new vendors come on board. This list, it's way too exhaustive to actually show here. So we just provide a link so people can go and see it. There's dive down into that shows the different profiles that these vendors support and their market availability, more importantly, for any of the healthcare organizations that are attending today. For additional resources, we also like to include a series of links to make sure everybody can access information freely. None of these require a login of any kind, really. We just use logins to store data. The IHE.net PCD page is under the IHE PCD website, and that can be found in the main IHE domain. The tool websites, we talked about the participation with NIST earlier. There are separate areas that we go to for testing, which is also valuable for review of content. Pre-Connectathon testing is done via the NIST tools in a separate section, and then the Connectathon itself is managed there. And for anyone interested in implementation of the Rosetta terminology, we actually have a NIST.gov site that stores all of the Rosetta terminology for use in all of the profiles that we've talked about today. From a contest perspective, as I said at the beginning, I'm one of a number of folks that are involved in leadership for the committees. Our PCD Planning Committee co-chairs, myself and my partner Kurt Ellison with the Smiths Medical Company. We have 2 co-chairs for the Technical Committee, Tom Kowalczyk with Biberon and John Rhodes with Philips Healthcare. Underneath that, each one of the working groups, each one of the profiles that we talked about today also has a series of working group managers, in some cases 2 for each of those as well. So there's no shortage of people to reach out to should anybody like to get some information on the profiles. Our technical manager, our project manager for this entire group is Paul Sherman, and we have some links here to the IHE.net webpage and the main page on the IHE for the Patient Care Devices group. For anybody interested in results from prior year Connectathons, we store all years from our Connectathon testing within a Connectathon results browser, and that's the last link on this page. That results browser allows you to look up very specific profiles or specific actors, see which vendors participated in those profiles, and be able to see who passed and who's out to market with those solutions, in combination, of course, with our available systems chart. So I wanted to finish the session by just giving everyone a summary slide with all of the different profiles. We're constantly looking to add more or to expand these profiles, and we'll be working on that this year. This concludes the presentation.